we will, and maybe we have. Now, if I said frag off, you could either be offended or head for the polling booth. In fact, Frag Off became one of our newest political parties when they won their first council seat last month in Formby near Southport. And as Stuart Politt's been finding out, they're all about protecting the green belt.
Like cream teas and summer fairs, the green belt conjures up an image of Middle England. Here in Formby, which has more green and is more Middle England than most places, it's become the political hot topic and created a brand new political force.
The site, the park, the gardens of properties all around, all flood.
This is members of Formby Residents Action Group, formed to fight plans to build on green belt land.
We decided to do rosettes of green and white, green for the green belts and white for concrete. And the public and residents had them everywhere.
So this has become sort of your version of the Labour rosette or whatever, has it?
It has, yeah, it has.
Maria is the group's first councillor, elected in May with a landslide win.
Never wanted to be a politician, never wanted to be involved in politics. Greenbelt is so important to stop urban sprawl. A lot of the Greenbelt is agricultural land, so for food security for the future.
FRAG member Jan thought her views were permanent thanks to the green belt, until developers proposed building on these fields.
We went round the whole of Formby, even people not from this area, from other parts of Formby, and the support was tremendous. They didn't want building on Greenbelt and certainly not on anywhere that is prone to flooding.
The developers have since withdrawn the application to build here, but the land is included in Sefton's local plan, a document all councils have to draw up to say where future development could happen. FRAGOFF say they aren't NIMBYs, but what's needed is affordable housing on brownfield sites. The leader of Sefton Council stresses that's what they're trying to do at developments like this in Bootle.
In the last 10 years, 90% of the houses that we've built have been on brownfield sites. The other 10% have been on greenfield sites. Not one house has been built on the green belt. We try to build as much as we possibly can on non-green sites.
But available brownfield spots are running out and are often too expensive to clean up.
The reality is there is going to be some building on green belt, given that we haven't got the land in the brownfield areas that we would like.
They need to decide whether the most sustainable solution for development in their area is actually a rolling back of the green belt. And they can replace that green belt on the outer boundary so that the green belt is sustainable for the long term rather than just nibbling away little bits of it here and there.
But any attempts to shift the green belt could, Maria says, see more new political parties.
I think people across the country could do exactly the same and stand up for their community.
So whether you view green belt land like this as holding back much needed development or as a vital barrier holding back the concreting over of the countryside, it seems certain that this issue will continue to have a growing hold on local politics.
Stuart Politt wading through some expensive crops there. Now, Rosie, you've got more green belt in your constituency than anywhere else in Lancashire. Where's the balance between protecting that and building homes?
Protecting it. The balance, I believe, will be in reflecting the wishes of the community. What you've got now is a lot of people who are very, very angry because they've been promised localism, they've been promised a voice, they've been promised that their view will be heard. And yet, what we actually have is a planning framework which is almost allowing aggressive developers to come in and purely for financial profit want to build in the green belt because it's easier. The brownfield first...
Well, according to the council, they've run out of brownfield options.
Well, let me tell you, in West Lancs, the council completely, in their consultation, ignored the views of people for electoral purposes. Councillors decided to take a whole area, Ormskirk, out of the consultation for electoral reasons, and people were very, very angry that they weren't listened to.
So is your position no building on the green belt, full stop?
My position absolutely is that there will be some building on Greenbelt when you've exhausted the brownfield sites, but you have to listen and take cognizance of people. Now, let me tell you, in Orton and Burscough, people took part in that. 93% of people voted against Yew Tree Farm. It was ignored. The consultation was a joke. Those people are very angry. And you will see more people who get elected on the basis that the government and councillors are not listening to... They understand.
Well,
they're not stupid.
Well, no one's saying they are, but
but
let me just say this, because
they need houses. They need affordable houses.
Fine.
They need a mix.
OK, Rosie, but I've got to bring Nigel in now, because you've got a big consultation yourself as well coming up on issues similar to this.
No, absolutely, and I understand the anger of everybody in the Ribble Valley who looks at some of their villages and small towns who see huge demand for extra housing. I was at a public meeting on Friday in Longridge, and I know the anger and frustration of people there who, they're not saying no to extra housing, but they are saying no to the amount of extra housing that is being put upon them. And we've got to ensure that, as Rosie says, you know, we are the guardians of this green belt land for future generations. And once it's gone, it is gone.
And yet, Nigel, at the same time, a lot of people are finding it incredibly difficult to get on the housing ladder.
That's right, and that's why we've got to get the right balance. It's got to be brownfield first, and people have just got to be a bit more imaginative about where the housing has got to go eventually, and that must be the decision of the local authority councillors. They're the ones. Do you know what? I really got very angry when in Barrow the local council said no to 504 houses. It went to appeal and it was signed off on appeal. And I got angry about that, where localism should mean that the decision rests with the local people.
OK, well, let's have a look at what else has been going on.